Hello, we're live. Welcome, Pricebook Wednesdays. So, very sorry. It does look like we have a little bit of a technical difficulty. Two items. I thought we had set this up as a reoccurring event, and that doesn't seem to be the case. So, it's only one event. I have to fix that, and then I'm having trouble with the software that I use to go live. So I got to figure that stuff out. Work in progress. Work in progress. Just like building a price book. They're always a work in progress. And that's what we've been doing over the last bunch of weeks here is that we've been working on our price book and our demo account that you're looking at right now, which is inside of HVAC. We wanted to have this ready, one for our demos and then two for the lives. And we have our three normal categories. We have three more categories that we're going to use for testing. We have yet to do them, so I can delete them for now. But we have built out our plumbing and HVAC book into our House Call Pro. We always used it previously just as the CSV upload. But again, over the last course of the bunch of weeks, we needed to prepare our account, one for the lives, so we had the information, and then as well as for our demo calls. So for plumbing and HVAC, we have all of our images uploaded, and to every service, we have added labor rates and material. So it's pretty cool. And this is what, we highly recommend using the House Call Pro calculator. It's really good. You end up using House Call Pro as your database. So you put your materials in materials section, your services in your services. I do always recommend keeping a spreadsheet, whether it's hours or some document to help you build your services. So as you're building a service, you really want to write down the material that you need. So then as you're putting it in here, you have the correct nomenclature that you have from your material list. And there's a search feature in here, but yeah, we've gotten this all built out for plumbing and HVAC. And eventually this is, it looks like we're missing an image. System refresh. And again, we have all these built out with all the material attached to them. Oh, this one isn't. We're maybe not finished with HVAC. We have to finish up with HVAC. Today, I wanted to talk about estimate templates, building out estimate templates, attaching services, material to them, some odd occurrences with building the templates and when you're updating your pricing, but just running through estimate templates, adding them to an invoice. So getting started, however, have your book set up, whether you have a Pricebook Ninja's price book or you're building your own. We recommend I just got an alert. We recommend building your services. You can, in your estimate templates, attach services or material, but we like to build our services and then attach them to materials, mainly for like markups. If you're doing bigger equipment installs, the markups are generally different than the markups you would have inside of the markups tab inside of the material. So when we build out templates, we build them out in a spreadsheet, put them into the services. It makes it easy to update. But again, if you are doing the material, attaching all the material using the flat rate calculator, I still do recommend building a service and then attaching it to your estimate templates. Now, a really funky thing is if you push through an update, and we're testing this We discovered it a while back, but it's been apparent, especially as of recently. If you do a price update, whatever part name or service name you have in here, you need to come and re-add it. It'll be whatever name is there, but you just need to come in and click. It'll auto search it, and then it changes the price. It's kind of annoying. With two different accounts that we are building out right now, we have to go through and click that. I think each account has over 50 or 60 templates. So we're having to go through manually one by one. That's one of the bummers with House Call Pro, is that it's all manual. It is all manual clicking. You can do various things. It depends on your level of ability with ChatGPT, with Claude. Maybe there are some things that you can create to help assist you with this clicking. We have a backlog of technology. I wish we could create stuff as fast as we think of it, but we're still a little bit of a way from creating a system for this one. We're working on helping add services and building out services. So when building a template, we recommend building them all inside of your services first. So inside of services, create a category, whatever it might be, like water heater installs. Depending on what you're doing, if you have water heaters already, they could be built in there. But we always recommend creating a separate category, especially for like heating, for like the install packages. For HVAC, it's best to create another category. If you're doing water heaters, you want to make sure that they're still in the book for your technicians to find when needed. What we really do want them to be using the estimate templates. It's easier to get onto an invoice. Much, much easier. And you would come in to each one and build out your time in here. And again, you can build this all in the estimate templates. It just depends on how much material you're adding to this, right? So you can build in the labor rate and material. You don't need to do a service. But it's a lot easier when it flows from the material book into here. And then you're going into there, you're only clicking one service or maybe two services instead of a long list. And that with HVAC installs, with all the parts that you're needing, there could be a pretty long list. I think we have like 22 or 23 different part types, never mind the quantities of each, attached to furnace installs. For boilers, this would be a nightmare. We made packages for boiler installs. So we have the main boiler install, but then for all of the parts attached to it, they're all packages. So we have the gas package, the domestic water package, we have a zone package, because inside of each one of those is a crazy amount of parts. So it allows us to whittle them down. So if you're building out a boiler install, it could be, a little hefty. For water heaters, this is a basic install. If you were to be adding options like a flood stop device or a mixing valve, you would have more items. 2 more, not the worst. But automatically, the material pricing flows to the price book, your service price book. What we're learning now is that it doesn't automatically flow to the templates without coming through and manually clicking each one. Very weird. We still have to test it. We just started documenting the weird little bugs that we come across. I thought that would be a really cool segment if we kind of found these bugs, came through and tested them to find out, to see if they were real or not, maybe a workaround. But I thought that'd be pretty cool. So what do we have in here? Oh, these are ones that I made on a test with a person on a demo. So because we have our services built out already. I'm going to just jump right into building out some new templates. And when you're building these, you can create your categories however you want them. Do make sure, depending on how you are building this out, your categories and subcategories need to make sense, just like your service price book, so you don't end up in a pickle, when you're in a certain place and you can't get in anymore. So like water heaters, depending on how, let's say we would build this out, we have a good example for a plumber who does boilers, and we only have the main, and then there's a boiler tab that you go into for all of the boiler templates. But make sure when you're coming in, you're setting up your categories and subcategories right. So we have that. We have the water heaters. We have 40 gallon already. We could add 50 gallon. And we're going to use the services that are in our book currently now. We could not load your price book internet connection. Okay. We'll go into a template and we're going to do basic 40 gallon water heater. And you need to have where it says required. It won't save otherwise if you don't have these two items set up. So you want to create your name, and we always lay these out on spreadsheets. Always. Let me bring it up. For us, it's way easier to plan on a spreadsheet. It's how Pricebook Ninjas was built. You don't need to go in depth of having all the pricing populated, but have your material attached to it, right? But even so, just your planning, we always write it down. Write down your plan. You can, think about it and then enter for sure, but definitely write down your plan so then you can get all your wording properly set up and figure how you want it. And then if you do that, it's for us, the way we think about it is we attach it all to the spreadsheet. We do what we need to do. We're able to run through numbers. We're able to run through pricing exercises where when we're building, we need to present to the customer, our client first. So we present the categorization, the services, the description, the images. And for us, again, really to lay this all out and plan it. And like for this book here, we have way more water heater combinations. We have 58 lines. Some of these duplicate for sure. And all your material duplicates. You can't see it over there because it's so small, but you definitely want to make sure, and then you can copy paste, you can do spell check, all of that. And then it makes it a little easier where you can just paste it right in. And that's what we'll do. Instead of writing it all, we're just going to paste this all in. We have our descriptions already written out way over here. And what's another interesting thing, let's see if it does it. These quotation marks, if you copy right from a spreadsheet, it puts the quotation marks in. But if you go into, so I just highlighted the cell and hit Control C and it copied it. But if you go in and then highlight it, it will not do that. It's just a weird. But we build all these out beforehand. So for us, we have all the planning ready to go. And then when it's time to implement it, then we go one by one and put it in. One of my guys was able to get in 30 templates with pictures the other day in like an hour. We were on a meeting and there was a mess up, and he was able to get it up there pretty quick. So then your description comes in, and however you want to write your description, we have a method where, and this is for the display, we have up top our name. We have a few lines that show in the display for the customer on the presentation mode. And then I forget the amount of spaces. My guy knows. I think it's eight spaces between these two. So it leaves the white space. So then the rest of your description isn't shown on the proposal tool. You then click in to see more, and you'll see the body. And that's where there's like a little blurb of just installation, just a little sales blurb, then what's included. We do company provided warranty, manufacturer's warranty, financing terms, and then add an image. And depending on how, we're not going to add images right now. I'm going to see if I can just quickly drag and drop one over. And then I'll quickly build out the last few options, and we will put this on an invoice, and we'll do the presentation mode. Water heaters. I can't drag and drop. Okay, nope. Okay. All the resizing and stuff, and but we'll add that there, and then I'm going to quickly build out just 2 more options and we'll get going. But then here you want to add your services. And for us, when we would load in all of these services, we would put them in so it would only be one quick. Let's type in 40 gallon gas water heater. That's our basic. And we're going to save that template. Now, the next one is going to be the 40 gallon gas with the 10-year warranty. I'm not going to do the description. We'll do the image. Actually, let's get the description. Let's keep this right there. And we're just going to do it with the quotations. And we're going to add our services. So still your 40 gallon. And we have in our book, we have all of our items already pre-built. So I know we have a 10-year warranty. See here, we have our premium, what's a 10-year and a flood stop device, but this is just the 10-year. That next one is what we're going to build next. Add template. Let's do the mixing valve and flood stop. Boom, boom. And as soon as you get the rhythm down, it's just a lot of clicking, but it is a little difficult, and it's not any easier for us. I'm just lucky I have an amazing team, but it's downloading all of these images, getting them up one by one, editing them. It's a lot. We spend a lot of time doing what we do. So 40 gallon, and then again, doing this, we're pre-built off of the spreadsheet. It's why we have all of our material items or how we build them with our services. So for us, we make sure we're doing all that work on the spreadsheet first, where it's a lot easier to click through. And then here it's copy paste, all copy paste. Again, we do want to work on on some bots and automation, but in time. Can't do everything as fast as you think about it. I wish. So we added now the premium. So this is flood stop, mixing valve, and 10-year warranty. And we're going to go ahead and save that. and we have our three options here. And now what we're going to do is go to a test account, and we're going to bring these up, and then we're going to go to the presentation mode. So we built 3 templates, and now we're going to put them on an estimate and present them. Let's find my account. Let's do a new estimate. And now on the phones, it is a little bit different, especially accounts. I am seeing currently right now 3 different versions. Yesterday Monday I was in a person's account, and I was on a page for the estimate that did not look the same as this. It was a little different. But so what you want to do to add your estimates or your templates, you can come down here and add your templates button. But what you end up having to do is you can only add one at a time here. You cannot click multiples. So you can click and add this and add it to the template, great, but you can't add the multiples. On my account here, many that I'm used to, and on my mobile app, it looks similar to this. So we'll go back in on your estimates. We'll create the estimate again. On the phone or tablet, you have your add options up on top. This gets me a little annoyed because you have your add options button and option 1. You can't do anything with that. This is if you have a trip fee or something. But you would add your options and select from template. Come into whatever packages you have, whatever category, water heaters, 40 gallon. This is where you can select multiple at a time. And it allows you to put them all on an invoice, or estimates at one time. Now you can click these, you can go back a category. It'll remember everything you're adding. Let's go back just to see, so you can see there's select 4 here. I think we have 1 in here. See, it just will continue to count. And as soon as you hit select, it'll auto put them all on their own individual estimates. So we selected the 3 water heaters. We removed this 1 boiler. We just have 3 items. It takes a second. They're going to populate up top here. You still have option 1. So whatever you decide to do, if this is a trip fee or something, you have to do something with this. On presentation mode, it's kind of annoying because it shows it. I'll show you real quick. So you have option 1 of whatever you're doing. And again, if it's a trip fee and stuff like that, it doesn't have any information. And then you have the rest of your water heater. So we're going to go back and delete that one. We have just our 3 water heaters. We're going to present it to the customer. Now, another item when you're presenting, you do have a few options for your layout. There's your simple layout that is just a description of the work, really. Scroll up and down to get your info. Then is side by side. Now, if you're sending this in an email, I do not recommend side by side because people don't naturally know to scroll left to right. It's more natural to scroll up and down. Presenting, though, if you have a tablet and you have like your nice screen, let's head on to this, right, where you can see all of the options in one, then you want to do that. But if anybody has to scroll, it's really a no-go at that point. You don't want them to go left to right. We recommend, if you're emailing it, to put it in the stack up and down. People naturally know to scroll, so you can see them. It just doesn't line it up side by side, which I am personally used to side by side, presenting and running through the options. And this is how you'd present to the customer. And again, whichever one you choose your layout is how it'll present to the customer. So if you do up and down, and it's preference to you, right? But they do give you the option on how you want to do it. The side-by-side presentation, and we'll do the present. where I was talking about the top, we leave a gap because we want each one to build onto each other. So there's like a little more with the top one having a long list. What we don't want at this point is there to be a space and then like another line. That would look weird. So we set this up so on the customer view, there can be just the points. These are just the overview kind of sales points to it. And you'd kind of want them to increase, right? However you're presenting, if maybe you're doing best first, you want that to be the longer list. And as you get down, you want to remove your items, right? So, and then as you click in, you see details and I guess show details again. And then here you have all your information to your customer. Now, it will show the services here. If you were to be adding something else to this, let's head back to here. Get out of the presentation mode, close this. On this one water heater, it won't change the image, it won't change the description, but you can add more services if you need to for something, right? Like, let's do a pricing matrix service. It'll add it to the bottom of that ticket. See, we added that line item there. So it'll always show what's included in there. Okay, that's estimate templates. We absolutely love building estimate templates. It is one of our favorite things to do. One of the hardest things that we do with it is designing the setup. Water heaters have become quite easy, but it's the furnaces, heat pumps, getting your units and deciding how you're going to set them up. And then as soon as you have that organized, then you just build up your packages. But it is an amazing tool. You save time. You know, you do it once. For our clients, sometimes it takes, 3 to 5 weeks. So we're talking 3 to 5 hour, 4 to 6 hour investment, a little bit of homework that they have to do on their own. We do all the heavy lifting of building them all out, organizing them, building the descriptions. But it really saves time in the field and per estimates, and especially when you can add multiples, right? You go into one place, you add multiple estimate templates. It adds to one one profile with multiple estimates, allows you to present very quickly. Granted, I didn't have presented options on everything, but we had to build them. I remember being in a crawl space and building my options, laying down there, building my options. I don't know if Service Titan had the feature back then. We're now talking 6 years ago, if they even had templates then. We did not have any built out. The company that I was working for. And then when I went to the sewer department, I'm just thinking, ignore me. But yeah, I built out all my options. Granted, it was trying to just build out like repipe options and things like that. But here you can build out all sorts of stuff. We built out a really cool plumbing one. We're about to jump into another plumbing one. We're very excited for. So just when you're, thinking and planning, again, write it down. It doesn't have to be on a spreadsheet, but just write it down somewhere so you can have your parts. Think about it. Think about your naming. Make sure it's nice in order. And then stick them in the templates. And if you need some help, shout out. We're always here. All right. Thank you, everybody, so much. Have a great night. Have a great 4th of July. Be safe.